Hi peeps, Bill here. Well, it's Sunday, so I thought I'd do a wee bit about religion. After all, it's my main gripe with those whining numpties over at Free From Thought blogs and Atheism Plus. They use the atheist label without really having any clue about what it means or it represents. They've already spoiled the sceptical movement, now they're moving on to the major leagues. They can see that atheism's making inroads into the American mainstream, and they want a piece of that. The damage that they're doing to a decades-old struggle doesn't bother them at all. And it doesn't bother them that they're stripping the West of a vital, needed defence against the kind of dogma that dragged us into the Dark Ages. They don't care, because they're on a crusade. Their leaders are parroting rallying calls without understanding the meaning or the intent. See, when Hitchens and the other horsemen said, "You don't have the right to be offended," they meant you don't have the right to be offended by our reasoned arguments. The arsehole stunts that have been pulled by Myers and his baboons, Webster Cook stealing consecrated wafers, or Myers himself nailing one over random pages taken from the Quran and the God delusion. The God delusion. There's a lot going on there. They did, and they do, absolutely nothing for our cause. They do nothing for a cause that's been based on a single, simple premise. And that is, at its most basic, we do not believe in your God. And because we don't believe in your God, we don't feel compelled to obey your religious dogma. We could really do without pissing off the general public, who make up the main body of the world's biggest and most powerful churches. Not believing in gods and being willing and able to call the leaders of religious cults on their bullshit is a cause that's best served by us demonstrating that we're the sane and sensible ones in any discussion. Instead of pissing all over the religious community's most cherished beliefs, we should actually be encouraging them to believe whatever the hell they want. And if they want to debate with us, great. Anytime, any place, we'll justify our lack of belief in gods, and we'll stand ready to be persuaded by your arguments for God, gods, flying spaghetti monsters, anything you want. If you're right, convince us. We're all ears. But as long as we're not convinced, you can keep your suicide bombing, kiddie fiddling, corrupt banking, multi-million dollar faith industry the fuck out of our lives and everybody else's. It only works if we keep on topic. None of this your religion is bonkers stuff in Parliament or Congress. Attack what it is that religion does, not what religion is. Genital mutilation is bonkers. Attack that in Congress, Parliament, and all over every media we can gain access to. This only works if we repudiate their dogma. It does not work if we replace it with a dogma of our own. I don't seem to be attracting too many of the special snowflakes from the feminist camp. I can't imagine why. But if any of them, I'm talking to you, make it this far, listen to this and compare it to the twaddle that your echo chambers are constantly resounding to. Could do with a critical G here. Our belief is not a belief. Our principles are not a faith. We do not rely solely upon science and reason, because these are necessary rather than sufficient factors, but we distrust anything that contradicts science or outrages reason. We may differ on many things, but what we respect is free inquiry, open-mindedness, and the pursuit of ideas for their own sake. And a second quote: human decency is not derived from religion, it precedes it. Rest in peace, Hitch. I don't have a problem with religious people. I really don't. You know, I quite like churches. The better ones are the heart of a community. They bring decent people together, they organise good causes, they keep the kids off the streets, they look after the elderly, they hold the occasional charity drive. Having a good sing-song every Sunday and believing in a carry-on zombie carpenter just for old time's sakes doesn't bother me. It's fine by me, really. And there's public ceremonies, things like Remembrance Day, coronations, loads of others, where the church plays a vital, pivotal role. I don't want to change any of that. I do want them to keep the nib out of stuff that just doesn't concern them. Do you know, in my country, equal rights marriages were opposed by an organisation of celibates that are infamous for shielding child molesters. On moral grounds? Seriously? Get the fuck. So I'll defend the individual's freedom to believe whatever they want to believe. I'll encourage the churches to keep on doing what it is they do the best, but I fight to keep the leaders away from the grown-ups table. They've got no right to impose their will on anybody, regardless of what their holy book says. And that goes triple for feminism, the West's fastest growing religion. You see, people whose immediate fallback response to any criticism, no matter how mild, how well-intentioned, is to throw insults, to shout down, to block, to censor the person making it, they're not fit to represent anyone. If they cannot understand what the causes they're subverting are trying to achieve, or they simply don't care, they're not fit to represent anyone. If they can't understand the meaning of the insults that they throw around, or they deliberately corrupt the meaning of those insults, they're not fit to lead anyone. A group whose preferred tactic is to bully, to harass and to humiliate their opponents into compliance aren't fit to lead anyone. A group who demands special, privileged, preferential treatment because they've been victimised, while reserving the right to victimise others, they are not fit to lead anyone. There you've got it. That's my take on organised popular religion, mainly the West Big Three: Christianity, Islam, and now feminism. I'm all for individuals enjoying their freedom. Believe whatever you like and share it with your friends. I'm fundamentally opposed to leaders of those organisations attempting to use their followers' beliefs as an excuse to ram their agenda down everybody else's throats. Here endeth the sermon. Thanks for watching, people. I'll speak to you soon.